Hello, Peggy. Sorry, I don't have any makeup on. It has been a wild, crazy Monday, let me tell you. Trying to get me brought up on my other device here. Facebook has changed some things, as I was telling you guys last week. I'm doing okay. It has, like I said, it has been a crazy day. It was a wild Monday. I actually contemplated whether or not I was going to be able to go live tonight or not. My husband actually just got home from work. He just walked through the door. I will share with you guys a little bit what kind of has gone on. My hair, I had it all twisted up and then decided, okay, it's time to take the hair down. Look like a hot damn mess. So, yeah, it's just been I haven't had a Monday like this in quite a long time, let me tell you. Normally my Mondays are pretty smooth. It kind of all started out, I'll just kind of get right into it. It started out us getting up this morning and my daughter had her therapy appointment. Now, she goes to therapy in town. She was going to go see her physical therapist, and it has been a hot minute, let me tell you, since she has had her physical therapy. Ooh, good job, Frida. You finally got in. It has been a hot minute since my daughter has been able to go to the physical therapist because the rules and regulations on whether or not wearing masks, not wearing masks, it keeps they'll escalate the issue and put a mandate on it, and then they'll take the mandates off. So I tried making an appointment in January for her because we're trying to measure her. You can see she's got this old recliner thing over here, and it's about done. So we want to get her a better chair for her to be able to kind of just relax and be able to watch her TV and stuff on. So we have to go to the physical therapist, and she has to measure her and do all that kind of stuff to measure for this special chair that she gets. So we're heading. So when I tried to make the appointment in January, I had one for the end of January. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but the speech or the physical therapist called me back, and she goes, I don't know if you're going to want to come. She said they've put another mandate on masks, and she goes, and I know Caden, my daughter, doesn't do very well with the mask on because my daughter likes to kind of hold her hands in her mouth. It's kind of her soothing technique, I guess you might call it. So she'll put her hands in her mouth, normally not both at one time, but normally she sucks on her fingers. So that's kind of hard to do with a mask on. And with my daughter's condition, she kind of gets anxiety when we're out and about also. So I don't take her hand away from her when we're out in situations like that. So so she told me, she said, okay, so we can do it for the middle of February. And so she had an appointment, I think it was February like 8th or 9th, Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah. And the the physical therapist called me, and she goes, the mask mandate is still in play. Why don't we kick it out just a couple of weeks? So we made it for today. And since I never heard back from her, that was a good thing because I knew that they had lifted the mask mandate. So we were driving into town to go take my daughter there. And my daughter has these, so for those of you guys who have followed me for quite a while, you guys, hello, Patty. You guys have known that back in June, we had my daughter up at the Phoenix Children's Hospital, the big hospital, and we had her there for, 4 or 5 days, doing an extensive EEG, because my daughter's in constant seizure activity. She's constantly spiking. But that's normal for her. So she's not having seizures during then. It's just her brain activity is showing that she's having seizures. So, we've had her seizures under control, and she's been having these weird little moment things, and that's why we actually took her up there in June, and we found out that those things were not seizure activity. Hello, Lois. So now she's started these new things, and I've talked to the neurologist, and we might actually be planning on spending another week up at the hospital doing another extensive EEG for her, because these new things, so we were on our way into town and she wound up having one. Hello, Jamie. And she wound up having one of these. I at this moment, I'm calling it not a seizure, but it's very, it's really hard to explain. She gets really, really kind of red. She gets kind of blank in her eyes, almost like a silent seizure at that moment. But then she starts going through not a grandma seizure where she hits the ground and she's, you know, flailing all over the place. It wasn't, they're not like that. And so after she kind of checks out for a few minutes, then she becomes very aware of her situation and she's looking at you in the eyes. And when she normally has a grandma seizure, she checks out. I mean, she's blank. There's no emotion. There's no nothing. So that's what makes me wonder if these really are seizures, because when she's going through this, it's more of a body seizure, I guess you might call it, because her whole body goes through this like rhythmic spasm where she's flailing. I mean, she's going like this, and her whole body, you can feel the when she's going through this whole thing, but she's very aware of what her surroundings are and what are going on. So when she has something like that in the car, I have to immediately stop the car. We have to pull off and find a road, because if she's punching like that, she punches the windows in the car, she punches the seats. And I'm afraid she's going to wind up like breaking her hand or her foot because her feet are kicking and flailing. So I have to immediately pull over. I have to kind of hold her down so she doesn't hurt herself. And then once she kind of calms down a little bit, and now might I add, these last for the upwards of like 30 to 45 minutes long. So it is a long toll on her body, on her little body, might I add. She's only like 70 pounds. So she's still kind of on the small side, even though she's 12 years old. But she gets very, very, I wouldn't say violent, but it's just her body gets kind of violent. She's not doing it. So when I stopped, I took her, because she gets really, really red and really, really hot also. Her body like almost gets like the hives on her. She gets these little red splotches on her. So I had to stop and I had to take her out of the car. And luckily, by the grace of God, today was kind of a windy, breezy, cool day. So I get her out and we walk around. And I mean, I have to tell you, I was kind of like almost teared up a couple of times. I had 2 different people stop on the side of the road and ask me if we were okay. Well, typically when we go into town, I haven't really seen that side of people lately. I mean, people are angry, people are mad, they're done with this whole pandemic thing. So it was kind of nice to see that people still care, you know. I mean, they didn't have to stop and pull over. They could have kept going. The one guy who stopped, he was a younger guy. He thought that she was choking, because when I hold her, I hold up underneath her arms and just like hold her chest so she doesn't fall, because if her legs lose control, I don't want her hitting the ground. So he thought that it looked like she was choking and I was trying to give her the Heimlich maneuver. And I told him, I said, no, I really appreciate you stopping. I said, but she was just having, I said, I don't know what to call it. I mean, I guess you can say she's having a seizure. I don't know. But I just had to get her out and get her some air. Hello, Katie. So I had told him, or now is this going to finally come up on my device? So a couple minutes later, this other guy comes driving up and he asks, geez Louise, why is this not working? I don't know why it's not popping up on my device. It's really kind of frustrating, because then I can't see if you guys are commenting or anything. So yeah, so this other guy pulls up and he goes, is everything okay? And I said, yeah. I go, we're doing okay. I said, I just got to let her cool off. She's kind of having, I don't know what you want to call it. I said maybe seizure, maybe, a lot of our Rett kids, the kids that have Rett syndrome that I know, we call them Rett moments. Now, I know that's a very vague kind of thing to call it, but that's just what we kind of say that they are, because there's really no rhyme or reason why they're having them. So I do know that we probably will do another extensive EEG to make sure these are not seizures, because we ultimately we want to make sure she's not having seizures, because that's not good. I mean, neurologically that can do a lot of damage in her head. So, yeah, so when this other guy pulled over and stopped, he goes, oh my God, poor baby. Exactly what you said, Jamie. He goes, oh God, that's hard to see. And I go, yeah, tell me about it. I said this, but it's my life, you know? So to me, I think some people think that I'm being unsympathetic, maybe, but it's not a matter of being unsympathetic. I just got to roll with it. I just got to do what I got to do to keep her safe. So it's not that I'm being, you know, empathetic or whatever that word is. I'm not being that at all. Oh yeah, they do suck. Absolutely, Peggy. It is not, I mean, we've watched her actually have full on, before we put her on the ketogenic diet, we watched her have like multiple seizures just over and over and over. And it is the hardest thing for anybody to deal with. It is awful. And, you know, and especially being, you know, a mom, you want to take all that away from them, right? Because you think, I mean, that's our job as being a mom, right? You know? So it's really difficult when there's nothing you can do when those are going on. So starting the ketogenic diet, we started in 2019, and she has been seizure-free, knock on wood. I mean, luckily that's, hopefully that's not what these things are that we're going through, but she has been on the ketogenic diet since October of 2019, and we've been seizure free. So we're just going to hope and pray that these are not seizures, and I don't know where we go from there, because I'm not going to dope my kid up on a bunch of medication. That's kind of the whole reason why we changed her diet to control the seizures, so we weren't dealing with medication, because we've been down that road. And it made her gain a lot of weight to the point where she couldn't walk anymore. And so we don't want to go down that path, because she has really bad scoliosis also on top of everything else this poor kid has to go through. And so we want to keep her as mobile as possible for as long as possible, because of that, the fact that the more you sit and the more you're sedative, the more that curvature is going to take effect. And I know quite a few of our Rett syndrome kids that have had the spinal fusion have really not come out of it also great. I mean, they're dealing and they're coping, but it's an extremely painful procedure, and especially with a child who walks like mine does, because mine's in the 10th percentile of walking. Not too many of our Rett kids walk. So mine actually has the ability to do that, and we don't want to take that away from her. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I mean, that's not what we're here for, but I just kind of wanted to tell you, it has just been a heck of a day. Then we come home, because I called the therapist and I said, you know, I'm going to be late. We're sitting on the side of the road. This is what's happening. And so she said, she goes, why don't we just reschedule? She goes, because I can only imagine that probably takes a lot out of her body. I said, absolutely. She's normally drained and just wants to, you know, chillax for a little bit. And so, oh my word, you had it while you were driving? Oh, wow. Wow, that could have been very tragic. I mean, thank the heavens above that you're okay, because whew, that's really scary to have that happen while you're driving. Yeah. Ooh, I can't even imagine. So, we turned around, came back home, said, we're sitting here. My son decides that, he's quitting his job. He's been through kind of a lot. The company, my husband has worked for the company for 20 plus years, but the company has really gone downhill. I mean, I'm just gonna say straight up, there's really too many hands in the pot when it comes to management. He's got like 12 managers, front end managers. And so the other day he kind of had a semi panic attack, because hello, Debbie, because one of the managers told him to do something and he was in the middle of doing it. Well, then another manager comes up to him and tells him to go do something else. And he goes, okay, I'll get to it in a minute. I'm going to finish this up. Well, two completely different managers than those two called him into the office and told him that that was the most utter, like, disrespect he could have given a manager. And they couldn't believe that he talked to a manager like that, and told them that, pretty much told the manager no, because he was in the middle of doing something. And he just said, he goes, Mom, he goes, I can't deal with it. He goes, I can't deal with nobody knowing what is going on at the same time. And then they turn around and I get in trouble for it because one's told me to do something and I'm doing it. And then another one comes in and tries to tell me something different. And then two completely different people that don't even know the situation pull me into the office to talk to me. So I said, okay, you know, it's your job. It's you know, you're figuring life out right now. So I will give you, you know, I guide him through it and I tell him, you know, it's not good to just like up and quit. You should do a 2-week notice. But I just told him, I said, I go, but ultimately it's your choice. But just know that when you go to get another job, they may call and reference this job and find out how your ethics were. I mean, I know you're always on time. I know you never called in sick. I get that, but you weren't on the job very long. So that happened. Then I go outside to let my dogs in. I realize my dogs got a hold of one of my goats. And yeah, that didn't end very well for the goat. So we will now have to bury a goat. And it's a tough situation. It's a part of dealing with farming. And you know, most people get on my case about the fact that don't have dogs that attack your livestock. Okay, well, these dogs have been raised with the livestock. It's just, he thought because the goat got its head stuck in the fence and couldn't get its head back out, and so because he went down deep underneath the fence to grab some of the pods that fall off the trees, and so when he tried to get back out, he got stuck. So the dogs thought that he was in danger, so they try to not necessarily say attack the animal, but when they hear another animal in distress, they typically go into dog mode and they attack because they think something else is attacking it. So that happened. I know, crazy, right? I mean, what a heck of a day. Like, and then my husband just gets home and he's, you know, upset because of what happened with the dogs, and I had to quickly throw the dog in the bathtub because, you know, he was a mess. And the other two dogs, luckily, they were fine. It's my just my one dog that he just has a thing, and when he hears another animal, I mean, I've even had a couple of my dogs go, and I only have the 3, but they both kind of, and I have 2 males, and they both kind of fight for dominance. One is a Great Dane, so he is a big giant horse, and then one is a pit bull. And I know I'm gonna get the flack that, oh, well, it's a pit bull, that's why. Well, this dog is, I mean, he is like the gentlest dog ever. It's just when the goats roam all day long out behind them. They've never messed with the goats. But it's when a goat gets stuck and sounds like it's in distress, that's when the dogs will do what they have to do. So, all right, enough of my downer of a day, right? Because who wants to deal with that crap? It's over with. We're going to have some Stampin' fun here. I've got some really cool things to show you. Actually, one of my followers on here actually reached out to me this week and she said, hey, you know, you should show a technique that a couple of the other demonstrators are showing. So you guys might have already seen this, but because of the fact that we only have 1 week left of Sale-A-Brations, I want to show you this technique because it might change your mind on wanting some of that Simply Marbleous paper, that designer series paper that we have that's in the Sale-A-Brations catalog. Because this, I mean, this technique is kind of mind-blowing. Let me just tell you. I mean, who would have thunk? Whoever came up with this, I'm telling you, some of these Stampin' Up! People are geniuses. Like, just straight up. It ain't me, because I'm not that creative, but some of these ladies are just ridiculous, and I'll take their advice. And then we have this other card. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it is called a diagonal gatefold. And when you see it, it looks like, wow, who the heck, this is gonna, you know, who's gonna be able to do this? But it's simple. Ugh. And these people, they kill me with that too, thinking that it's so hard, and then surprise, surprise, zip, zip, and then it's good to go. So let's get you guys flipped around so don't get sick. So hang on, no getting sick during stamping. Okay, you guys are going to see into my coffee cup, but I'll just move this over because for some goofy reason it keeps telling me to rotate my camera, but I'm like this all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. We're all good. So I'm not rotating anything. Speaking of coffee, I'm going to have a drink. And I think actually we're a little crooked here, and you guys don't need to be staring at my belly. So I think that might be a little bit better. I think I just moved you guys up a hair. And I will zoom in when we go to work on some of the cards. But let me show you. This is coming up. This is called The Waves of the Ocean. And I know I showed this set, but I did get informed that I let you guys know some wrong information. So when we were looking at these dies last week, I thought they went opposite ways. Well, I was wrong. They actually layer on top of each other. So you can use two different colors, both going over the crest, like do one with some white and then do one with your like blues or greens or something like that. It would just be beautiful because then you get two different colors going on top of each other. Plus you would stamp that big image in another color. So let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. So here is the card that I made, and I know I showed this to you last week. So this is the one with more of like the drippy little crust coming down off of this. But then you could take this and you could layer that over it as well to really make it look very lifelike. Also, the other thing that I wanted to tell you guys that I messed up and misinformed you guys on is these little pieces right here, which I thought originally that they were parts of the waves to add a little bit more wave action going on. Actually, these coordinate, oh, I can get this thing off of here. Oh, this cloud right here, these actually coordinate on top of the cloud where you could do different colors. Like if you did the cloud in white and then you wanted to kind of do this in like a night of navy or, you know, your coastal cabana, it'd be very, very beautiful doing that. So these and this one goes to the small cloud. This one goes to the big cloud. So I think I told you guys that it was part of the waves. So I was wrong, and I wanted to let you guys know that I told you guys false information. So there is that set. That set is coming March 1st. So I will do a demonstration with this. I have a couple of cards here just to kind of show you guys right offhand that I made a couple samples for you. This is the bridge fold, and I kind of did that just to show you kind of how that looks and to show off the designer series paper that coordinates with it. It's got kind of these watery, bubbly looks to it. Some great colors. And then we also have the best part of this. We have this foil paper. We also have two silver sheets that are in here too. So you get two of the Coastal Cabana, two of the Night and Navy, and then two of the silver sheets in this pack. So that is coming March 1st. Let me get that out of the way. Oh, and then here's the gems that go with it as well, or jewels, I guess you would say. So those can be ordered as one full bundle where you get everything that I just showed you in one shebang with just putting in one item number. Or you can order each thing individually. Like say you don't want the paper, but you definitely want the set. I would say buy the bundle, because you're going to save 10% when you buy the stamp and the dies together versus buying them separately. You're going to not save that 10%. Okay. And then that way, if you buy this set and you're like, oh, okay, well, I want more of this paper because this paper is only exclusive till May 2nd. All the paper and the gems are going to be gone in May 2nd when the new annual catalog goes live. But this set will actually go in the annual catalog. Now, the all-together set is available now. It started February 1st. Again, it's one of those things where you can buy it as a whole or you can buy it individually. But again, you're going to save 10% if you buy this together as a bundle. Now this set is good through May 2nd as well. And the only thing out of this whole set that will be going in the annual catalog are the Stampin' Blends. So this whole set will be gone, so you better grab it before May 2nd if you are interested in this with that beautiful black and white paper. Mystery stamping. I have set our mystery stamping up for March 16th of next month. So I won't put that up on the blog yet, but I will keep you guys informed of when I get all the materials ready for you guys, because I know you guys want to be prepared. It looks like I'm crooked here. There we go. So you guys can have all your supplies ready and everything to go. So watch for that. And congratulations to Anna Rebadoo. She actually won this month of February. She won our February mystery stamping. All right, now through February 28th, you can get your hands on 2 extra free stamp sets when you sign up as a demonstrator. So if you plan on putting in an order of $125 or more, I highly advise you to join my team. There's no ties with that or anything. If you want to just be a demonstrator just to get a discount, by all means do that. You're also going to get a free paper pumpkin, which is an awesome way to get your hands on a paper pumpkin just to kind of see whether or not you like it. Because say I've been showing you things about paper pumpkin, but you're still not sold yet because you're still kind of confused on what the heck is in it. So I do a paper pumpkin alternative the last Thursday of every month. I have that posted here in my events on this page, so you can always go over there and RSVP that, and then it will show you new updates and everything and keep you informed on if I post anything to that. Let me see, where is my, oh, here it is. So the paper pumpkin that is live right now is called the Beyond the Horizons, and it has all to do with that beautiful paper that I've showed you guys quite a bit of. This is called the New Horizons paper. It's that one where a lot of people have been using it to make sceneries with. They're letting you know that it would be a good thing to have this set and this paper on hand when you use this set, because it's all going to coordinate together. So they kind of just threw that out there. And one of the extra bonuses for signing up to this kit this month, this runs until March 10th, you will be able to get a free stamp set in this kit. So you're going to get 2 exclusive stamp sets in this kit. So excellent time to sign up for this. Even if you only get the one, because say you see next month's little details and you're not too interested in it, you can always cancel. It's not a, you know, you're not locked into it. You don't have to sign up for a certain period of time. You can do it 1 month, decide that that's not for you, and then just cancel your subscription. Or there's another option where you can sign up for this and put your subscription on hold for the following month if you don't want that, and then it'll kick back up the following month. So a couple different options with that. So joining my team, like I said, you get 2 extra stamp sets with your $125 worth of product that you're going to pick and put into your starter kit. You get to pick 2 extra free stamp sets, just stamp sets, on top of your starter kit, which is amazing. And you're only going to pay $99 plus whatever your tax is where you're at. All right, we have this, the new magnetic board. I will be doing a Facebook Live of putting this together. I'm kind of playing with it right now and deciding what I'm going to do to show you. But that is called the, what was that called? I have it sitting right here. It is the Celebrate Today magnet, magnet board kit. It comes like this. Everything is in this nifty box here. The frame is actually down here. It comes with even your adhesive, so you don't have to add anything extra unless you have a pair of scissors or whatever you want to cut some pieces out. All your little embellishments are perforated, so you just pop them right out of that paper and you can stick them right onto your stuff. Hello, kitty cat. Don't come in here being noisy. Adhesive kits. I still have some of these available. It comes with everything you see here. It's $35. That includes your shipping and your tax. It's $35 right out the gate. I mail it right to you. I do take PayPal. I do Facebook Pay. I do cash check. Checks will make it delay a little bit because I have to make sure it clears the bank, all that kind of stuff before I can mail this out to you. Also, this is my current host code for February. So when you're placing an order on my online store, which is dannygarola.stampinup.net, when you go to your cart, it's going to say my name, and you're also going to see my name up here in the top corner, just to let you know that you're shopping with me. Why in the heck is it not showing me? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's going to say that you're shopping with me. And then right here, when you go to do your shopping cart, it's going to tell you if you have any celebration items that you need to add into your cart. Then add my host code right here as long as your order is under $150. Now, why am I telling you to add my host code? Because when you use my host code, I send you an extra little goodie treat for being my customer. Everybody gets a thank you card no matter what, no matter who you are, whatever part of my customers. You place an order with me, I'm going to send you a thank you card because I appreciate your order. But I do something a little bit extra for those of you who remember to use my current host code, because you're helping me out greatly. So sometimes I will make up little things where you get a little Post-it note carrier, or you get, sometimes I give out packages of coffee. Sometimes I add a bone folder in. Sometimes you even get a chamois. So it just, it just really helps me out when you use my host code. So the other thing is, all the dimensions, everything that you see here will be posted tomorrow over on my blog, along with a still shots of the cards that we make and the replay video that I will upload from YouTube. Now, if you're watching this later from YouTube, please hit that subscribe button for me. I'm trying to get my subscribers up so I can wind up starting to do YouTube lives, since things are forever changing on Facebook for us. And there are a lot of people that just don't like Facebook, and I get it. So I would like to be able to use a different platform. Well, YouTube has it where until we have 1,000 subscribers, we cannot go live on their platform. So I got a ways to go, but I can only get there with your guys' help. So just to let you guys know that. So my blog is stampinthepinkbarn.blogspot.com. So again, you'll see everything over there. I'll also have a list of all the things that I use on today's projects. Also, I will list those under the supplies on my YouTube description as well. So let's get into the first card here. I'm not sure if we're going to need that, but I'm going to leave that there. So this first card is the diagonal gatefold. And I did want to show you guys something that I also just purchased as well, just because this has some scoring. I'm not going to use it for this project because I got to figure out how to play with this thing. But this is called our Simply Scored board here. It's really neat. It comes with its own little score tool that just clips into the bottom there. And then this track up here, you get these I love this scoreboard, and trust me, I've got a bunch of scoreboards, but this one I had to have because I love the fact that I can mark in these little notches right here. I'm not sure if you can see those notches or not, but these little things can clip right in there and keep your spot. So say you're making a bunch of the same card, or you're going to do a demonstration and you want to make sure your numbers are marked where you score, then you'll have those little things in place. Then you just simply follow that mark down and then score where you need to. So I had to have this board for that reason, because it just simplifies life. Okay, so for this first card, where did I just put? Okay, we are using, this is Pale Papaya. Now this is 5.5 by 8.25. So that means I have cut 1/4 inch off the side because normally our paper is 8.5. So I'm going to get my regular paper trimmer and we are going to do some scoring on this. We are going to score this at 2 3/4. And we're going to move it over to 5.5. Just like that. So now we have these 3 little panels. Can you see this here? And if you take those and you just kind of fold them up, just like that. I have my other cards sitting over here, so I make sure I do this right for you guys. And then you're going to, so now you have 1, 2, 3 different little panels here, right? So say we just got done doing our last scoring. You're going to take this and you're going to turn where your left-hand corner is up towards the top, and you're going to put that in your track of your blade here. But you don't want your cutting blade for this. You only want your scoring blade. So take your gray scoring blade, make sure your bottom score mark is here and your top score mark is up here at the top. So when you go to score this, you're going right at this mark and the top left-hand corner. Just like that. Now, with it staying in that same direction, slide it over and start at this third panel where you have the score mark. You're going to put it on that score track and the bottom right-hand corner in the score track as well. So you're going to start from the left-hand corner and go to the right-hand corner. Just like that. Okay, so now you have 3 of these panels and 2 of your score marks on the first panel, and the third panel are going from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, you guys understand that? Okay, so when you lay this down and you put this, the third one over, you're going to take this flap and you're going to fold it back just like that on itself. So kind of like a man's shirt that almost looks like a collar that's being flipped back. Let me move this. Like this would be the point of where like his t-shirt's underneath here. So make sure that one gets flipped backwards. Now if you were to flip this one down, we obviously want this little, see our score line here? We're going to flip this one back up on itself. So now we have a rectangle here and we have a rectangle here. So when we open this card, it sits like this, and then when we open it, it looks like that. Very fun and easy, but cool at the same time. It kind of, I love cards that have like a little bit of fold interest to them, because then it just kind of is more appealing to the eye, right? And then it also gives somebody something to fidget with. All right, so that is our base. Now what we need, now you can do this 2 ways. You can use the same exact paper. This is called the diagonal gatefold. So you can either use 2 of the same piece of designer series paper and use both sides to do it on this. You can use 2 of the same piece of paper and get 4 of your panels out of it. What I wanted to do is I'm going to use this Bumblebee. This is from our Hearts and Home designer series paper, and then I brought in a piece of cinnamon cider because that pairs really well together. But what I wanted to do with this piece, now let me tell you the dimensions of both of these. These are both the same dimension. So you want 2 at 2.5 by 5 3/8. Okay, so you can mix and match whatever way you want them to look. Just know that both of them need to be 2.5 by 5 3/8. Now on this one here, where did I just put that? I'm going to use our new bee, what is this called? Hive, honey, blah, blah, blah. I have the little thing here. It is called the Hive 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to run this cinnamon cider piece through my embossing folder, or through my embossing machine. So since it's 3D, I have to use my specialty plate number 4. So I'm going to take all of my plates off. So all I need to use is plate 1 and plate 4 and stick that in between there and sandwich it. And now I'm going to run this through my machine. Okay, so here is my beehive. Very neat. So you can decide which way you like it. Now, typically they say the front of your image is where your Stampin' Up logo is. So this would be the front. So when you pull this piece out of here, if it is sitting like this, then that means this would be the front of your paper. But you can flip it over and use both sides the way you want it, minus the little fuzz there. Now what we're going to do with these 2 pieces is we are going to take them. Now this is where you kind of want to watch your directional, if you have directional paper. So when you're holding your little image like this, the best thing to do is to take your paper and lay it over your area and know that, okay, my slit comes this way. So when I lay this in my trimmer, I'm going to make sure that my left edge is at the top and my right bottom is at the bottom there. So when I take this in here, I'm going to cut it like this, knowing that my direction will stay correct. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to set those 2 off to the side because we're going to do the same thing with this. Now this doesn't have a direction to it, but say it did. Okay, so this is where you would hold your paper and you would go this way because we just cut this paper going this way, going diagonal. So now we want to look at this paper. So if you just lay it on here, you're going to know that your paper is going to cut this way because these 2 panels are going to go on this back side and this back side. So you can absolutely cut 4 of these and have them on the back side and the front side. It looks pretty both ways. But for this, I don't need to worry about it because they're both, I mean, it's just all the same pattern on here because I just embossed it. Now these just simply get glued on here. And you can use your glue of choice. I like my green glue because when I go to put this on here, I've got a few minutes to kind of wiggle this around in place where I want it to make sure it's going to fit on there exactly the way it needs to with the correct margins on my sides. Okay, so there's that one. And then, so see, that's going to set like that. And then this one is going to go right here. So it's just easier for me to kind of lay this flat and know that that goes there. Now, no, that is not called green glue. That is called our Tombow multi-purpose glue, if you want to know the technical name of it, because green glue, if you go to search that in my store, probably my store is going to go, huh? What are you talking about? No, it's actually called Tombow multi-purpose glue. That is what you would look up in there. All right, so those are our 2 front panels. Now we want to place these on this back side. So we need to go, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Oh, see, did I screw it up? Maybe I need to. Okay, so that does tell you that we do need to be directional, but, yep. So I needed to do it the opposite. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We can wing it this way, but just know that if you had a directional paper, you would have wanted to cut it opposite. So I screwed that one up. So hold on, let me see this again. Yep. I did it the wrong way, because even if I turn it this way, it's not going to be the same. I went against my own words and I cut it opposite because I went this way instead of starting over here and cutting this way, because that's where the panels would have sat, is underneath here. Does that make sense? Are you guys following where I screwed up there? So technically we would have wanted to cut this way, going diagonal from the top up here, from the top right hand corner to the bottom left hand corner. So you learn from my mistakes so you don't screw yours up. But because I embossed it and I don't have a right or wrong side on mine, I kind of got lucky. But if you have yours, just be mindful of that, to make sure you lay it down on your thing first. Like I even got done telling you what to do and then I did it wrong, which, story of my life. Go this way. Follow the cut mark of your pieces that you already have on here. Follow your card. Don't follow me. See, I just saved you guys from messing up because I did it on my own. It's always nice to learn from other people's mistakes, right? Because then you can kind of save yourself the, you know, the time and energy and the, you know, expense of the paper. If you would have had a directional piece, yes, that was a saying that I grew up hearing from my my stepdad. It was, do as I say, not as I do. And I never figured that out until I was an adult and had my own children. And then I was like, huh, now that totally makes sense. I get it. Do as I say, not as I do, because I've messed up multiple times. And luckily I am one of those people that I learn from my mistakes, because God only knows, we all probably know that person that keeps making the same mistake over and over again. And that happens, you know, no shame. It's just, it is what it is. But the ultimate goal is to learn from the mistake, right? So if I can make the mistake for you and keep you from doing it, that's an awesome thing. All right, so that's what our card is going to look like. Then I cut myself a piece of basic white, and this is 5 3/8, so the same length as these, but this is 2 5/8. These ones were 2 1/2. So this is just going to lay in the inside of there, but I'm going to stamp a little bit on this first. So I'm not going to glue it down in case I really smooge it up. Then I need, where did my 2 little white circles go? Did I drop them? For the love of Pete. I had 2 little white circles cut out just in case if I messed one up. I knew I would have extras, and now I don't know where they went. You guys see them? Oh, there they are. See, I slid it underneath my paper. There they are. So then I cut out 2 of these little circles here. And these are from our layering circles. And what I did is see, I keep all my bits and pieces in here. So what I did was I grabbed one of our doilies. Now these come in 3 different colors. It comes in basic gray, cinnamon cider, and then misty moonlight. These are called the Heart and Home doilies, and you will find them on the same page as this whole suite with this Honeybee Home, along with there's another stamp set with it also. What is it called? I marked my pages so I could tell you guys. Oh, maybe I didn't mark it. because those other ones are for other stamp sets. Well, isn't that peachy of me? I marked every set but the one that I was using for this. Anyways, you guys will find it. Oh, there it is. Look. So there's 2 sets that come with this. It is right here. So again, you can buy this as the whole suite. So when you see this over here and you see this one code number right here, that means you're buying everything with just that one code that is on the next page. So you will get all of this instead of having to break it down and buy it piece by piece. Now, I know that's not always feasible and doable. I get it. So that way, say you don't want this, what is this? The Heart and Home Memories and More pack. You don't have to get it that way. Then you can just go ahead and break these other things down and get it. Okay? So these are the doilies. I chose to use the basic gray one and this little circle right here. I'm not quite certain what the size of this circle is. Is it a 2-inch? No, it's a 1 3/4 inch circle. Well, it's kind of 1 5/8 circle. That's what I cut 2 of my little white circles out with. Now I cut 2 of them just in case I mess up, because God only knows it happens. So let me figure out the stamp that I wanted to use in that. Now I was debating, because you know how I told you guys about the 2 free stamp sets that you get right now if you join my team. This is one of those sets that would be excellent to add as one of your free stamp sets. I haven't even put mine together yet, but that is on my to-do list to get done because I want to use this. I keep pulling it out to use it, and then I'm like, dang it, I forgot to put the darn thing together. So the other thing that I wanted to show you that I think is worthy of having, a lot of you guys have this Dear Builder punch that you guys purchased in our December catalog, the June-December catalog. We have a set that's in the new catalog right now that is this Friends of the Forest set. Now, I would kind of say that you could potentially use this as one of your free stamp sets, but let me tell you why I would kind of veer you away from that. It is only $17, this stamp set it is. Now, if you don't own the punch, I would definitely say put both of these things in your starter kit, just because it's so cute to be able to punch out this little deer, and you'll be able to use it for your upcoming Christmas cards as well. So just know that. The other thing is if you already have this, add this to your starter kit, but then do this stamp set right down here, this Happy Heartfelt, as one of your freebies, because like I was telling you, do your expensive stamp sets as your freebie sets, because this is $24 right here, okay? That deer one is $17. So that's something you can add towards your $125 starter kit, but use this as a freebie because it's such an expensive set to get that as your free one, okay? I just want to clarify and make sure you guys know, get the expensive sets as your freebies. Okay, let's grab this, and I think I want to put the Best of Luck. Who did I just see pop in here? Hello, Melanie. Hello, Kay. Hello, Danette. How are you guys? I'm going to grab my cinnamon cider and stamp the words Best of Luck, because I need a little bit of luck today. And so since it hasn't been the most luckiest of days, I'm going to try to give myself some luck by using this stamp set. So let's go here. It's snowing there. You know what's really weird? And Melanie could probably vouch for this because she lives here in Arizona as well. Now, I don't know because she lives further away from me in another town, but they're actually stating that we might actually see some snow here in the valley of Tucson. See, I made that crooked. which is huge. Like, we don't see snow in Tucson. It's just not a thing. We have had it. I haven't seen snow since the year that my granddaughter was born, so 2019. Like, she was born in January, and I think we had snow in February. And it was so neat because she was just this tiny little baby, and they bought her this little Carter's deer onesie thing. And so we sat her up, propped her up in the snow. It was so cute. I mean, the snow doesn't stick very long around here, but it's still kind of a neat thing to see because we don't get it that often. What else did I want to do? I wanted to, I think, stamp one of these little bees right here as well and die cut that, but I don't know why I didn't get my scraps out. And let's take this little bee right here, looking like he's flying in to get something. And I'm going to do him in cinnamon cider as well. I'm working my way back there. It's too cold here. Yeah, I know. See, you kind of get spoiled when you come down here and, you know, where you're at, it's snowing, it's cold. And then it's kind of surprising to come down to somewhere like here in Arizona and everybody just rant and raves about the weather. Well, see, I kind of miss the snow. I will be honest with you. I do. But now I don't know if it's something that I would tolerate all the time. And I know people tell me, well, then drive up to Mount Lemmon. Well, okay, that's great and all, but I don't like driving up to Mount Lemmon. It is a road that is kind of hectic and scary. Now, little short story here. My grandparents passed away, and that's the whole reason why we live down here, is because the year that my daughter was born, in 2009, my grandfather passed away. I think it was like just a couple of weeks after my daughter was born. So he never had the opportunity to meet my youngest daughter. And so we moved down here. My mom actually moved down here. My dad stayed in Oregon for like 5 years because he had to sell their house and blah, 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 and get transferred for work and yada, yada. And so my mom lived down here for probably, I would say, like 8 months before we followed suit behind her. My husband actually stayed up in Oregon for a year before he came down to be here with me and the kids. So me and the kids were down here kind of by ourselves for a year. He would fly down like on the holiday and, you know, see us. But other than that, he was gone. So it was me, my mom, and the kids that were down here. And where was I going with that story? Well, I don't remember where I was going with it. Anyways, so what I was talking about is Mount Lemmon. So my grandparents passed away, and so their wishes were to have their ashes scattered up on Mount Lemmon. So that we have been saying for years, we have their ashes, we had them both cremated, we actually had them put together, and we have, because my grandma died, it was 2 years ago, like around Thanksgiving-ish. And we keep saying we're going to drive up there, and we keep thinking, okay, we'll do it on the anniversary, their wedding anniversary. We'll drive up there. Well, I think their wedding anniversary is like in April. I can't even remember. That's kind of bad. But I don't like driving up there. I'll just leave it at that. It is a very hairy road. It's very narrow. It's very steep. And they don't have guards around the edge. Like, you look off the edge and it is just a straight drop. And I'm like, holy, what the heck? I mean, if something was to go wrong, it would be fatal. Just saying. And that freaks me out. Because I'm not good at heights anyways. Heights really scare me. You know, it's been really weird. Not to say that I was ever an adrenaline junkie ever in my life, but as I've gotten older and having kind of a medically fragile child, it has really kind of done something to my psyche where I'm not daring at all. I really don't ever want to put myself in a position where my hubby's grandma's ashes are scattered on. I can never say that word. You know what's so funny? We have friends that live out there and I call it Pistachio Peak because I can't say that word. Pachacchio, yeah, I'm not going to try because I slaughter it every time. But yeah, I never knew that it was legal to actually dump ashes, but when we talked to the, what is it, the cremation place here, they said that there's actually a road up on Mount Lemmon that a lot of people actually dump their ashes. And what he said, it's kind of good to plan it around a day that you think it's going to rain, or if it's going to rain the following day, because a lot of people, I guess, will go up there and put the ashes up there, and then it kind of absorbs when it rains. So then you know that they're not being blown away. I don't know. I don't know how serious it really is. I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke of it, don't get me wrong, because I mean, you are doing something that is kind of a, not to say sacred, but a special moment. But I don't know. I'm really weird when it comes to stuff like that, though. I try to make everything kind of sense of humory, because I'm not a big fan of death, but I mean, I'm not afraid of death either. But anyways, we'll get off that topic. All right, then I'm just going to put this little bee kind of just sitting, kind of flying in on this word. I just like how that white pops on that basic gray doily there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to kind of angle it where we know that it is straight. So this is probably one of the trickiest parts here, is because this kind of tricks your eye by looking at it like this, that you have to kind of make sure you're kind of straight. So I kind of watch my sides to make sure that I'm straight. So when I go to pick this up, I will grab it like this, knowing that my back finger is covering the area that I don't want to get glue, and then I'm just going to run some glue right here to make sure that when I do lay this back down, I'm only putting it where I want the glue to touch this back panel, not this one. And see, and I got a little bit of double glue right there. So when I lay that down, my card will actually explode, because it's not an exploding card, but I guess I didn't press my creases down good enough. But then it looks like that when it is folded. Now, you might be asking, does this fit inside of a envelope? Well, I don't know. I didn't even check. I guess I should probably look at that, right? Because I didn't even think about an envelope. Well, boogers. Let me check it out, because you have to be able to mail this, right? So there's got to be a way. And see, you can't fold that in. Well, if it folds like that and stays like that, will that fit in there? You know, it might just sneak in there with this like this. Or be mindful of when you lay your piece down. And I don't think I can move it right now. No, it's pretty good. Be mindful of when you put this down that you make sure that you can fold these. It could be an in-person card. There you go. An in-person card. I like that. That's cute. Yes, it could be an in-person card. Absolutely. But I think you might actually, what is on here? You might actually be able to fit it into an envelope. Well, I mean, it would be really, really close. Or, as I said, make sure your piece isn't bigger than this, and then you can fold these all three in. I mean, you could fold this backwards, but that kind of jacks the card up. Yeah, because you can't put it in the inside either. Well, because that won't work. And that won't work. So no, it isn't in person. Stuff it in. I know, right? Just bend it. No, we don't want to make our cards bendy. So yeah, so putting it inside of an envelope is probably not going to work unless you can figure it out. And then you will have to let me know, because I didn't even think that far. I just thought it was such a cool design that I didn't even think about an envelope. Isn't that kind of bad of me? Oh well. Well, there you go. like Cheryl said, it is an in-person card. A bigger envelope. Well, there you go. Yes, absolutely. You might have to actually use one of these. I just buy these off of Amazon. These are A6 size, so I think they're 5x7s. Or no, they're 4 3/4 by 6.5. So this would fit in this. Absolutely. No, like this. The way that I showed you. Fold it like that. Then it will fit definitely in there. Yep. You just have to get or make your own envelope out of your DSP. There you go, Anna. That's my kid right there. But I don't know how to do that. So we're going to just leave it at this. All right. Okay. So there is that first card. Now, where did I put my chamois? I got too rallied up on my envelope there. I guess, yep, you'll just have to buy a bigger envelope for that. Or, like I said, just don't put such a big sentiment piece on the front. I didn't even think that far. But I just like the card, so. All right, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. My little pile of tidbits over here. Oh, let me put my circles back in my thing. Yeah, I don't know, Danette, if you heard me say that they said that it's planning on snowing down here, but it's not snow like what you guys have up there. God, no. It is maybe a little dusting that we will have. They did say that up on Mount Lemmon that there could be 6 to 10 inches. So that's pretty cool up there, but I mean, that's up on the mountains. That's okay. All right, so this next card, we are going to be using some Blushing Bride. Now, I love this pink. This pink is almost like it kind of reminds me of like a baby pink. It's not bright and crazy like the pink that I have on here. And it's not, it's just kind of almost like an antique pink. Maybe that's what I should say. Okay, so our base is 8.5. Oh, my watch is listening to what I'm saying. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're just going to fold it in half, and that makes it 4 1/4 by 5.5. That is our card base. Then we're going to need another piece of the same color. Now, you don't have to make this card in the same color, but I just think it is such a beautiful, very kind of girly-ish, I guess you might say, very womanly color. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And what I was going to do is I couldn't decide which of the two embossing folders I wanted to use because both of these embossing folders are really neat. This one is called Ornate Floral. And then this one is called Pretty Flowers. Now, they're both really kind of cool. The only difference is this one is kind of 3D, so it makes a deeper imprint on your paper or cardstock. And this one's got kind of bigger flowers, and it's just a completely different kind of flower than these little tiny ones. But I think I'm going to actually do the Ornate Floral. Do we still sell this? Hold on a minute. Before I even do that, do we still? Yes, we do. Okay, it's right there. Whew. That kind of scared me a minute. I thought, oh my gosh, am I trying to show you guys something that is discontinued? Because I hate doing that. Sometimes I just do it because it's too cool not to show, but I don't like doing it all that often because, hey, if you fall in love with it and you want it, you want to be able to grab that, and why show me something that I can't get, right? All right, so again, we're going to use our plate number 1, and because this is a 3D embossing folder, we just need the 2 plates. So 1, your folder, and then your plate number 4. Okay. Look how cool those little flowers are. Isn't that adorable? I'll show you the one that I made using the pretty flowers, because I used it last time, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to use it again because it did turn out really pretty. Okay, that's going to go on there. Then what I did was I took a piece of, where is it? I took a piece of basic gray and I cut this little piece out of, these are called our Ornate Layers. And what I did was I used this one right here. It's a rectangle and it's got a really neat, kind of a doily look to the outside of it, kind of an antique-y, really pretty. All of these are really neat. You've got these long ones because the words that actually come in this stamp set, which is the Ornate Thanks, are very long, where you need to have these big bordery chunk dies to be able to put those words in. So I did it in the basic gray. Then I cut myself a little piece of, I'm in love with the moment stamp. I know, right? Yes, we're going to use that because there's so many different things that you can do with this. I've seen such, I mean, creative techniques with this that it just blows my mind. But I am going to use a piece of the shimmer white. I'm not sure if you guys can see the shimmer on that, but it is our white cardstock with some, almost like a wink of Stella has been incorporated in the paper when they went to make this. This is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, and this is going to fit in the little rectangle of my my little border piece here. Almost looks like a little window sheet, or not window, a picture frame. And then I am going to use the little lady standing looking off into the distance. Now what she's looking at, you can leave that to your imagination. I like to say that she's looking at the beach because see these birds up here? I'm going to say those are seagulls. Now they can be whatever. She might be looking at the mountains. I don't know. Now you can turn this way and go like that, which I think I might do on this one because the other one that I did doing, what do I call that? Portrait style. But this one I think I'm going to turn and I'm going to do a landscape actually, just to kind of change things up. Now you could use the girl in the window. That would work as well. Or the little lady sitting there with her dog. That would probably work better going this way. So yeah, really, really neat stamp set. Absolutely. So I'm going to grab my Memento. Yeah, I think I showed you guys the technique where they were taking a dark base color cardstock and then stamping this and then using your bleach in one of your water painters. And lifting the color with that bleach off the cardstock. Or you can take your chalk pen. I can never get a very good stamp on this shimmer paper. I will say that. It always comes out a little, I think you might need to use Stays On, but I'm going to be using blends. So we are going to just leave it like that. Okay, so I'm coming in with, where's it at? I was going to use, wasn't sure if Flirty Flamingo would be a little like overkill. I'm going to use the back of this since I slaughtered that. Oh. See, that's way too bright. That's because we don't have Blushing Bride in a blends. That's the only reason why I'm kind of messing with that. Yeah, I don't like that either. All right, let's try maybe Petal Pink. That might work. Where did my card base go? I mean, it's not quite all that pink, but all right, never mind on those. Let's try maybe, ooh, you know what? We have our new colors. Let's see those. We have SU1000. Let's see what it looks like. These are, ooh, see, that might work. That might actually work pretty good. These are those new tones. The ones that I just showed you from that set. Okay, yeah, I'm using these. Okay, so I'm using the SU. These are on with that. I told you they're going to be going in the annual catalog, but right now you can purchase them with the all together. You can purchase them right down here. They're called the Natural Tones Stampin' Up blends. I'm going to actually use the, now on here, they actually have them called light, medium, and on here, they're actually numbered, saying SU900, and this is SU1000. Now, these must be the lights because I had them in order put up on my shelf. So we're going to call it that, okay? And then I want to use some of my Misty Moonlight. And with Misty, I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of put some dark color around the rim of her hat here. Ooh, my husband's in there making hamburgers. I can smell it. So I started my, I wouldn't say diet, I just started my better eating habits back up. So you guys just heard me say that my daughter's on the ketogenic diet. So back in 2019, I was at my lowest weight that I have been before I had children. I got down to about 167, which I know I'm telling you guys TMI, right? But oh well. And so during this whole COVID thing, I have gotten myself back up to 183. Isn't that horrible? Ugh, that's so gross. So I can really tell because when I'm sleeping, I wake myself up because I'm snoring. And I'm just like, okay, I've got to get this weight back off because I don't like waking myself up because I have a hard enough time sleeping anyways. So, and I know I'm going to contribute it to the weight gain because we all know that that kind of affects the way we, you know, kind of live lives. And I can also tell because none of my clothes fit me. And I refuse, absolutely refuse to go buy clothes again. I got rid of all the clothes that I had like shrunk out of. And I refuse to go buy those clothes again. So what am I doing? I'm wearing all my stretchy stuff because it's the only thing I can fit into. Pretty sad, right? So I, back on, I think it was Friday, Saturday, I decided, okay, I'm going back on eating the low carb, high good fats. And it really helped me before, so I'm sticking with it. So I started back at doing that. So I'm just going to stay with my traditional skin tones because I haven't quite got to play with these much to know the blending techniques of color of like skin tones. But I'm going to stay with my ivory because it's just one that I have always kind of just grabbed because it's been actually the only one that we've had. And I used, this comes in a pair. It is the ivory with the bronze. And that is what I used on her hair. But now that we have these new skin tone ones, I mean, you can really be creative with how you change the tone of her skin. Like, she could be out here in this beautiful sunset. Like, you could really change the back of this and really make it pretty. And then I'm going to use my dark cherry cobbler because she is drinking a dark red wine. Put that there. And then, let me see. Let me go through a couple of these darker ones. This is SU400, so I'm assuming this might be the dark. No, that would be the medium dark, maybe. So let's go with the really dark. This is SU100. Okay, that's really dark. But, oh, actually, you know, I'm going to do a gray. I forgot. I wanted to stick with a gray since we're using this gray. I want to use a gray for the railing. So this is the dark smoky slate. And then I'm going to grab the light smoky slate. Put these two away. Well, I find I'm grabbing the wrong thing. And then this is light smoky slate. Okay, and then, I mean, if you're really creative, you can actually continue this, like if you could use a piece of Post-it note and you can cover that over, and then you can continue doing the little railings and keep going with this, but I'm not going to do that for time's sakes, because God only knows. We'll be here all night. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to use this with the 1000, so I want to use the 900 because they get darker the lower the number. So this one is the second one down, and it is 900. So the 1000 is the lightest color we have. Oh, let me put a little bit of this underneath her hair, so it looks like the shadow of her hair is a little bit darker on her dress. That's the whole point of using these for shadowing. And then I'm going to come in with the lighter one and just go right over all that and kind of blend those colors together. Now when this dries, you'll be able to see that shimmer that is in this paper. Like the way I'm holding it right now, I can really see the shimmer. You may not be able to see it in camera, but I'm telling you, it is there and it is gorgeous. Now, can you see the shimmer? Is it really not showing up in this camera? Maybe you can see it if I hold it a different way. But anyways, there's tons of shimmer over this paper. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here. I'm just going to glue it straight down on there. Ugh, not on my fingers. Ugh. Oh, that's the other thing. Last night I went to pick my son up from work because, you know, that I told you guys that he quit his job. It was just too much for him to handle. So anyways, so last night I went to pick him up from work. And this just kind of tells you a little bit of how things are and how people have gotten so insanely crazy if you don't work out in the world as of now, because it was not like that when I had a job. I mean, there was respect. People did not act a fool like they do nowadays, but I was sitting in the parking lot. I was sitting in my car and I was watching the door because at 11 o'clock they shut the doors and they turn the automatic like opener up on the doors. And so there's normally the bodyguard that stands there at the front door and he opens up the door for the customers. Well, he had walked over to the cart corral thing and was talking to somebody, so he didn't open up the door for this lady who was walking out. Her and her husband were both walking out of the store. She had kind of a full cart load of groceries, and so the doors were shut, so they didn't automatically open. She pulls her cart back and slams the cart into the doors, knocking both the glass parts off of the track and popping the doors completely out like this. So now all four of these doors were hanging out like this, out towards the parking lot. And she's like saying effing about the fact that they didn't open the door for her, and why should she have to go open the door? If they want to shut the doors like that and turn them off, then they're going to just have to deal with broken doors. And I was like, who are you? Like, who acts like that? So when my son said that he wanted, I said, you know, the last couple of nights that I've sat there and I have watched the way that people act, I told him, I said, I mean, I really, honestly, I don't blame you for not wanting to, you know, work in that. But in the same sense, this is the way society is. You know, I'm not saying that everybody acts like that, but I mean, just hearing the way people were out there talking, and the one guy said this, I'm not going to repeat any part of what he said, but my son was out there getting carts, and so when my son got in the car, I go, what the heck was he talking about? So he told me what he said, and I said, where in the world do people come up with and who thinks to just say those things out in public like that? There were other people around, and the things that he was talking about were just horrendous. And so I just told my son, I said, I'm glad I'm done having kids. I'm glad I'm over that whole part of my life, because I don't know if I could bring children into this world the way that the way that it's gotten crazy. Well, and you working in a restaurant, Frida, I can only imagine. I mean, you know how they say that there's those Karens in the world, and I know my son shows me videos of some of these women acting a fool, and I am ashamed of what people have become. Like, I don't think the generations have gone that far off, but then again, when you're out there and you see it, it's mind-boggling, truly. All right, so I am going to grab, for my sentiment piece, I'm going to use the double ovals. And so I grabbed a scrap piece of this Blushing Bride, and I cut that out of the scallopy oval. And then I'm going to take that little shimmery white, and that is going to be for the piece that goes inside of that. And I kind of liked the sentiment that says, it's okay to feel the feels. Now that comes out of this. This is a Sale-A-Brations. You can earn this with spending $100. Again, this is that set that I've told you guys that I think you all need to have in your collection. It's got some amazing sayings in it. It's kind of very all over the place, so you're not stuck with just one theme. You've got congratulations, you've got birthday, thanks, this brightens your day, or thanks for brightening up my day. Just a card to say that you're amazing, with sympathy. This has got a huge collection of sayings that you're going to want in your stuff. But I'm going to use It's Okay to Feel the Feels, because it truly is. And so I'm going to use Misty Moonlight for this. Or no, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Make up your mind, lady. Well, let's see how it works, because we might need to flip this over and use black. It's okay to feel the feels. Ah, that worked. That turned out pretty darn good. So yeah, so I told him, you know, I understood where he was coming from. I did tell him, you know, ethically, I wish he would have, you know, give like a 2-week notice, but, you know, oh well. That's what I told him. I said, I don't know how you can even stand being around some of that, because wow, is that ridiculous or what, the way people are behaving? And he said, oh, you don't know the half of it. And I go, you're right, I probably don't. I said, I don't go anywhere. I stay at home because I can't handle it. I can't handle the way people act. Okay, so I'm going to see where I can tell that this is going to sit down below here. I'm going to take a little bit of my dimensional here, And I'm just going to kind of place that right along the bottom. And it kind of gives me a good little guide with this little center scallopy thing right here. And then I'm going to just put glue on the top of this. And I know I covered up quite a bit of her dress, but it's okay. It still looks good. I like it. And then, oh, I didn't even cut, ooh, wow, I'm really off my game today. I didn't even cut an inside for this card. And where did I just do with the envelope? I just had the envelope sitting here that I was going to show you guys what I was going to do. Well, I guess I got to get another one. I don't know where I put it. So you guys have seen me do this before, where you take this top flap right here, and because we've done some embossing on here, I'm going to lay this top flap right inside of my embossing folder, and I'm going to take it where kind of I can see where this score line is, and then I'm going to hold it in place and then lay my fold it down, and then I'm going to run this through. So since this is 3D, like I said, we need to have our number 1 plate along with our number 4 plate, and then we will just run that through. So just like that. So beautiful, right? It just kind of dresses that envelope up, makes that envelope really kind of all come together with this card. And so let me show you the other one, because I think I kind of like it better. I actually added some ribbon, and I did this in the ivory, the very vanilla cardstock with it. I think I just like the way she's placed on this one, but I did want to try it this way because I knew she would fit. So I kind of like the ribbon, the ribbon on this one, because it kind of gives you just a little bit more pop of the, I know, you always forget to do something with the envelope, right? Yep, I'm right along with you. Obviously, I didn't even check to see if that bumblebee card would even fit in a darn envelope, so that shows you where my mind was. But I'm going to have to watch the replay. I'm having some issues. Oh no. Well, hopefully you can get adjusted to that, because yeah, I get that. That's not fun when your medication is screwing with you. You like the vertical one. Yep, I know, right? It does look a little bit better. So I'm trying to remember the colors that I used on this. I think I used the Flirty Flamingo and Petal Pink on her dress there. But then when I saw it, it just almost looked too pink versus the way it looks over here, where it's just a little bit more pale, and it kind of matches this a little bit more. So, yep, just to show you both ways so you can see the way that they go. But this will be as the giveaway next week. Okay, so that's card number 2. Speaking of giveaways, let's go ahead and do our giveaways from last week's cards. So the way I do that, anybody who comes in here and likes, comments, or shares this, because, you know, sharing is caring, and sharing is probably the number 1 way you can compliment my card making, is by sharing this, because you never know which one of your friends is going to be interested in you know, some of these crafting things, because, you know, if you're not a big time crafter and you don't really talk about it, then you don't know. So they might see it on your page and be interested in and start watching us, which that's always fun, because then your friends can come in and they can comment and they can talk with you as well. Yeah. Ooh, it's so windy outside. It's so crazy. I can hear it like blowing dirt up on my window. All right, so that was card number 2, and let's get these going with the winners. So I do a random it's called Wheel of Names is how I do my giveaways. So anybody who has commented, now when you share my post, make sure you write in the comments that you have shared it, because Facebook doesn't let me see who shares. It'll show me the number of who has shared the video, but it doesn't tell me, and it won't let me look to see who's done it. So make sure you comment that you have shared it after you've done that for me. All right, so last week, this was our card number 1 that we did. This was called the Waterfall Technique, and I used those really cute little awesome otters that are part of the celebrations right now, and I put a little birthday hat on him, the last one, because it says, "It's birthday time." And then I also added a little otter to the front of that envelope to kind of just add a little interest on the outside. And then this one is oh yeah, that's right. This is just a single card. I didn't make this an open up card because this is your focal point. But you do have the whole back of the card to go ahead and write to your recipient on this card. This one is going to go to Arliss. Nope, I think is her last name. So this will be going to Arliss. Okay, card number 2 is with that super cute catching butterflies. Again, it's part of our celebrations. This really cute little gal here catching some butterflies. And I've used, again, another celebrations item. I used the, oh, geez Louise. If I don't look at it, I'm going to not say it right, because that's just what I do with that paper. It is called Sunshine and Rainbows. Is this paper, and we have a punch that actually punches the little clouds right out of that paper. This one, I said, collecting sweet thoughts of you, and then it says, you make my heart happy. And then we put some of those really cute little brass butterflies on there, and then again some butterflies on the envelope. This is going to go to Patty Klingsporn. So Patty, I know I will need your address, but we have spoken a couple of times, so I will make sure I get your address and get that card to you. And then this is the last card that we made. This is a Mother's Day card, and I actually did this going this way. Little fuzzies there. It's just kind of a different interest of opening it the opposite way that you normally would open a card, because normally we make these cards like this. But I thought, you know, it might be fun to do it this way. And this is using that new flowering, it's called Flowering Tulips? Something like that. This is going to go to Cheryl Gramlich. I think, Cheryl, you're on here. I think I saw you. Yeah, because we were just talking. So, and then I put a little piece of that tulip paper on there as well, to kind of bring out these little rows of tulips. So if you guys saw these cards that I had posted over on my blog from last week, I actually showed a picture of the Netherlands with the actual windmills and the tulip flower beds on the on my post there, so you could see that, okay, this is really actually taken from like real life stuff. Okay, so let's do this last card. Now, this last card I saved for the end because it's kind of messy. But messy is good, right? I'm going to kind of bring you guys out just a little bit. Why does this look so stinking crooked? My goodness gracious. Oh, that didn't help. Let's come back this way.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, well, why does she do that? You know what's so weird is I have my watch in do not disturb mode, but for some reason, SIRI will pick up anything that I say and start thinking that I'm talking to her. And I'm like, hey, lady, mind your business. I ain't talking to you. Okay, so let's get into this card. This is a technique that I know some of our big demonstrators have been really showing lately. This is a, you know those northern lights that you see up in like Alaska? I know you can see it over on the Pacific coast and that kind of stuff. I am going to be using the one, now this has quite a few colors in it. This has Balmy Blue, Basic Gray, Blushing Bride, Bumblebee, Coastal Cabana, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Smoky Slate, and So Saffron. But in this pack, this is one of those ones that I was telling you that is part of our celebrations. So one side kind of has this more, I guess like counter, it almost looks like a granite countertop. And then the other side, they're calling it marble, hence the fact that the paper was called simply Marbleous. I think it almost looks like a satin or a like a water coloring, but I'm going to use this one. I'm going to say that this is probably the Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight, but this comes also in the pink, the Blushing Bride, so you can see both sides of that. Oops, come here thing. There is both sides of the Blushing Bride. Then there is the So Saffron. There is the, what did I say, Highland Heather, or was that Gorgeous Grape? I think I said Highland Heather. Yep, Highland Heather. And there's the back side of that. And then you have the Coastal Cabana in the back side of that one, which you could also do the same technique in this one as well. So we might do both. And then here is that Smoky Slate and the back side of that. So this paper is so gorgeous. It's actually the paper that we used last week with that waterfall card because, again, like I said, it looks very waterish on that one side, this side here. Oh, come on, paper, get in there. I'll mess with it later. Okay, so let me cut this down to size. So I'm going to use, let's do this one first. I'm going to kind of turn this because I kind of want more of this white area. I'm going to turn and do this at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, same with this one. Let's see. Do I want more of this white area? So I'm going to do 5 1/4 by 4. And so when you have these little scraps, these pieces right here work great for the inside of your card, or you can even put them on the bottom of your envelope like that. And that adds, so don't throw these pieces away just because you don't think they're big enough to do much on. They work great for filling the inside of the card and envelopes. Okay, so here are both of our pieces that we need. So the colors that I have chosen for this technique, I'm going to use a little bit of Gorgeous Grape, some Granny Apple Green, some Night of Navy, and some Polished Pink. Now, where did I put my card? Well, I had one of these made, and now I have no idea where I put it. Doesn't matter. All right, so you're going to need some of your blending brushes. Now, I don't have enough of these big blending brushes. So I actually bought a couple of these little ones. I bought a pack of like, I think there's like 10 or 15 in there, or maybe there's 12, I'm not sure. But I just bought a pack of these that are just small, that I could just use them on some of my oddball colors because I keep all my blues on my blue brush. I do all my pinks on this one. So you just kind of keep them in. You can have a brush for every color if that's how you want to roll, but I don't have enough space for all those brushes. So I am just keeping it where in my different color categories. Why do I have my daughter's remote sitting here? I guess I don't need that. Okay, so I am going to use, I was going to use this one first. Okay, we're going to do this one. And I am going to take Granny Apple Green, and I am going to put my Granny Apple Green on my brush, just swirl it around. Now you can daub it, but make sure whatever you do that you kind of start off on your scrap paper first. So I'm going to bring in this piece here, because I don't want to really mess that up because I can use this a couple of times. And then I'm just going to start off by kind of brushing it over here so I'm not getting like a bunch of like crazy little spots on here, which it won't really matter if I do because it's not going to hurt the technique at all. But I'm just going to kind of take this and kind of randomly just swirl this around. Now you can make it as bright or as dark as you want. It's completely up to you. But since this is kind of a lighter color, this granny apple green going on this darker blue, I kind of really want to make that color kind of stand out. So that's why I'm going to go over it a couple of times to make that pop. Now, again, I was saying the Northern Lights. So when you see this, you're going to look at it and go, how does that even make any sense? Now, just wait. You're going to have to roll with me here to really get this look. So you kind of want your bright colors. That's why I chose the colors that I did, because you want them to really kind of stand out and be kind of bright and pretty off of here. Again, I'm taking some granny apple green. And now when these colors blend together, you're going to kind of get, when you do the blue and the purple over each other, it's going to kind of make, or the granny apple green and the gorgeous grape, it's going to kind of give you like a blue color. So I'm just going to come in with this over here and kind of just go around the edges of where I just had that green. Okay, I'm just going to go like that at first, and then I'm going to grab my polished pink. Wow, you saw them in Illinois. Really? I didn't know that you could see them. Oh, Michigan. Yep, that's right. If you're up north like that, you can see them. I would so love to see it. When we were up in Alaska, it was wintertime, but I never saw the Northern Lights, to be honest with you. I really wished I would have, because that has really been something that I always thought would be just kind of, you know, breathtaking to see. But nope, I didn't get to see it when we were up there. I can't remember exactly what time of the year we were up there, but there was ice and snow, and they had these, we were up in Fairbanks, and they had these really cool ice sculpture things set out around the street and stuff. It was kind of a neat experience, but yeah, the Northern Lights would have been really cool to see. I've even heard people in Oregon have said that they've seen it, like up in Oregon and Washington and Canada. That definitely probably Canada, but that they've seen those and experienced seeing how gorgeous those are. All right, so I'm just going to kind of just fill in my little white spots here with these colors. Kind of doing more of the pink than anything, and the green. Okay, and then shut those. And then what you want to do is you want to take your darker color, like your Night of Navy, and what you're going to do with this is you're just going to take this and kind of make sure you don't have a lot of splotchiness, and then you're just going to go up to the edge. Okay, kind of like that. Okay, and then turning it. kind of darkening up some of those edges. Okay, so I'm going to call that good right now. We can always come back in and add more color if we need to. Ooh, I got a tickle in my nose. Okay, I'm going to bring Grassy Groves in, and I hope I didn't just rub blue ink all over my face when I went to itch my nose. And I'm going to grab this set of trees right here. Now I'll tell you a couple of demonstrators. Patty Bennett has done this technique, and so has Frenchie. So if you want to see their cards, I've kind of based mine kind of off of Frenchie's because that's the one that I saw first. Just so you'll know if you want to go watch how she does it as well. And I'm going to take this, and I can't remember what she calls this look, but it's kind of like looking up at the sky through the trees. So if you just take your trees and kind of stick it right here in the center of the bottom, and then in the corner, and then over here in the corner going up. Don't drop your pad on your paper because that could be bad. And then I'm going to move this right now though, because I think it's not making a good connection because I've got too much foam underneath it. Then I'm going to take this one up in the center. It's time to re-ink my, okay, so hold on a minute. Let's re-ink this really quick because I think my Memento needs some new, it needs some color added to it because it is just not acting so fresh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Memento refill and just kind of rub this across my pad. And you can use either a plastic spoon, whatever you have laying around. I would advise not using a credit card. I know some people say to use a credit card and do this. I don't. Here, let me zoom you guys in a little bit. I forgot that I zoomed you out. I don't like the credit card technique because the fact that your credit card can kind of destroy your pads. This is got a soft surface on the back, so I just kind of like take this and I just kind of distribute that ink around so I make sure I'm getting it all even so I don't have any dry spots. I just kind of move it around a little bit. Now you may have seen this done different and that's fine. I'm just showing you how I do it. And then I can take a baby wipe and I can wipe this off or take it to the sink, but I'm going to actually just grab a baby wipe. And since this is kind of a bone, it does go into the marrow, but it is okay. It's not going to ruin my bone folder. It's been done numerous times on this, and I still use my bone folder the same. Okay, so now let's come back in here and make sure this color is going to look a little bit better. We could have actually used the Night of Navy, but I just think the black is a little bit crisper. So then I'm going to come back into these areas that I left undone. So there, because can you see that it looks like you're kind of looking up through the trees into the sky? Isn't that such a neat technique? And you can keep adding, you know, more of this, like say in some of these spots where it's just a little bit too naked there, you can add just a couple little more of these little spriggies down here. Or you can come back in. This is where I was telling you that you can come back in with your Night of Navy and you can add more color down there to kind of darken that in so it looks like it's more of a full forest. You can do it however you want. I think that looks pretty good. Well, actually, I need one more over here. Just like that. Okay, there we go. Because I don't mind that you see kind of some of this northern lights coming behind some of this open tree, because that would be actually what it would be like in real life, right? Okay, let's move this one aside. Now what I would do is I'm going to take just a plain card base. So I'm going to grab Granny Apple Green, because that is the color that I think pops best on this. And just use that. Oh, if I can get it underneath there. Now I can use that as my card base, or I can make this as, ooh, I've got goopy on my fingers. And then do this as, actually, let's do 4 1/8 by, what did I say? 5 3/8, because we are going to use this as just kind of a frame, and then use, let's see, let's use a piece of our Night of Navy, since that is the color that we spread all over that, and go like this for our card base. Cut this actually in half and use that as a card base. So watch. Now you could use black as well. Black would look good with that Granny Apple Green. It might actually look better than this. Now I had fingerprints, but thank goodness it doesn't matter, because we're going to lay this on top of here and it won't really even matter. So see how pretty that is with just that pop of green around there? Isn't that neat? Love it. And then you can put either your sentiment there, or you can actually just leave this the way it is and let that beauty be, and then put a sentiment in the inside, because you're kind of focusing in on this technique, right? Okay, so there's that one. And then let's do the other one really quick. I know we're getting close on our time. Let's grab our Granny Apple Green again, just to show you the difference with the Coastal Cabana here. Now, like I said, don't forget that this is part of our Celebrations freebie. All you have to do is spend $50 in the store and you can get this whole paper pack for free as your Celebrations item. And it only, that our Celebrations is only lasting until Tuesday, well, actually, Monday the 28th is the last day. So if you go to the 1st and you try to wait, it's going to be too late. This is already going to be gone. You won't be able to get your hands on it. So make sure you put your orders in and get this paper. Okay, let's grab some pink. Yeah, when Cheryl told me about this technique, I like hopped on it and I was like, all right, I got to show you guys this, because this takes this paper to a whole different level that you wouldn't anticipate this paper being. Okay, and this time I'm going to take this card and I'm going to use it. I think, oh no, let me see. I was thinking about, I have not made this card, so this is kind of on the fly right now. I was going to take this stamp and I was going to put it at the bottom and then maybe put some trees going up in the back. And then maybe do the deer. You want stamp sets. Let me tell you something that's going to work best with this technique. You want stamp sets that are more of a silhouette look. So these ones that are really dark like this, or the trees that are dark, because that's what's going to give you that look of seeing the dark on such a dark paper that you're doing here. Especially once you start adding this Night of Navy to the edges. You really need a stamp set that you're going to see the silhouette of it, because that's kind of the look that you're going for. It's a nighttime, so all you would really see is that stamp's dark image anyways. And so another thing I have people ask me is, do you wash your brushes? As you can see, I don't wash my brushes. So my blending brushes, that is. So let me tell you kind of one of the reasons why I do not wash my blending brushes. So if you wash them, you lose all that ink that you've put all that effort in building up on your brush to be able to use. So you would be starting from point A kind of every time you went and washed your brush. And then every time you're dipping in there, you're having to pull that much more ink off of your pad into your brush that it's kind of, you know, kind of a waste, honestly. So I would say keep your brushes the way that they are. Yes, does that mean you have to buy more brushes? Probably. But it is well worth it if you plan on using your blending brushes, because either way, you're going to spend money on the brushes or you're going to spend money on keep putting more ink into your pads. So you choose. I know re-inkers are not that expensive. I 100% I feel you there. But then again, the longevity of your brushes, you know, probably aren't, you know, because once you own a brush, you own a brush. These brushes don't fall apart. They're, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I own a couple of like makeup brushes that are kind of like this. They are not as good of quality as these Stampin' Up brushes. So, you know, I've decided to buy a couple extra and I actually use them for my makeup brushes. Just saying. Multi-purpose, right? I don't use it for my stamping stuff after I've already used it for my makeup, but I'm just saying that they're better quality than the ones that I've spent more money on one brush buying one for makeup than I could have bought the pair of 3 or the trio of 3, because you get 3 when you buy them through us, through my store. I'm going to actually try Stays On. Maybe I'll get a crisper look that way. And since I'm not using Stampin' Blends, I don't need to necessarily have Memento. Yep. Ooh, and I love the smell of it. I know I'm weird. Haven't we had this conversation before about the fact that how I love the smell of Stays On ink? Okay, so I'm going to go like that. But I think I need it stamped one more time down here, just to kind of fill in that space. Okay, just like that. Beautiful. That's what I was looking for. And then I was going to take, where did my tree goes? My tree goes. Really? Where did my trees go? Okay. Grammar, be real. And then I thought I would put a couple of these trees up here. I do like the Stays On. So I'm going to advise probably Stays On works a little bit better. It's a little bit of crisper color. Okay. Then, what about this deer? Would that be too much? I mean, would that be like overkill if I put the deer standing there? Would that be too much? What do you think? I do think we need to bring some of this sky down a little bit more, though. Yay or nay on the deer? What do you think? Should I just leave it like that? Or add the deer? Oh dear. Because once I add it, it's awfully permanent. And I think it might be too big for, unless we try to make these trees go up a little bit further. I was going to do the mountain scene. I know, I actually asked a couple of my demonstrator friends who live around me if they had the mountain scene. What is that set called? So if you guys watch Frenchie's, if you want to see how she does it, watch her YouTube video. I can't remember what her, I know it's Frenchie Stamps or something like that, but she used, let me find the set really quick because I have to show you guys. And I thought, shoot, I don't have enough time. Even if I was to express order it, I wouldn't have gotten it in time. She used this set right here. She used the Mountain Air, and she actually did these, and she put the white peaks of using her white pen, her chalk pen, at the top of this. But what I wanted to try to do, and so this is an amazing set to use on this because she made the mountain scene and it turned out absolutely gorgeous. I would really say it's worth going and checking out her YouTube page and watching that. But what she actually did on top of that is she took our basic white. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to put the deer because I don't think the deer is going to add much to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this to do it the way she did. Or did she add drops to it? I'm not sure how they did it, but I think she just added drops. Because I'm just going to add drops because I'm not sure. I don't think I watched the rest of how she did it. But that is when you buy the white craft pad, the Stampin' Up craft pad, your pad will actually come empty. It will not have any ink on it. That is, I know mine's very haggard. I actually spilled coffee in it. Go figure, right? Me and my coffee. You take this and you will actually ink this up, and this does dry quite quickly. It's very tacky, very sticky. And so you will have to keep putting your ink on there, but this stuff lasts forever and a day. As you can see, I still have the very, very old one because it lasts so long. Okay, so let me actually, I was going to say to do the white tips in that, but I don't think so. I don't think I like that on that one. So this is going to take a little bit to dry. I will tell you that. So I am not going to mess with it. I'm going to let it dry, but I did want to put a couple of dots over here. What was I going for? Oh, so this needs to dry because, like I said, this stuff is very, very tacky and sticky. So it needs to dry before I try to like mess with it. But I was going to show you the different color choices you can matte behind this. I think this one I'm going to mat with a black card base under the back of it as my card base. Do I have a piece of black cut here? Oh, well, here we go. This is not quite the card base that I was looking for, but this will work. So hold on, I gotta score this really quick because it's my 11 by 4 1/4, and you know the grain is opposite. So you'll have to score it if you have your card facing this way. So I'm just going to show you this bone folder so I can varnish that. Oops, as I throw it on the floor. I just wanted to show you guys the different looks of the colors that you can choose behind that. So that would be Gorgeous Grape behind that card. Like a smear. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it off. You could use, oops, right here. Is that a piece? Oh no, it's not a piece. I was going to say that's not the color that I use because I use polished pink. But you could use so many colors behind this and get so many beautiful cards out of this. Look at that on the black. If you used a pink behind there. I'm trying to see if I have a piece of polished pink. Here is a card base of polished pink, so I could at least show you kind of just a hint of what I'm going with here. Like if you did it on that with the black. Oh, isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh, I really like the pink on there. Let's show you Granny Apple Green behind this one. See, I do like it with the black. I'm not like disregarding the Night of Navy. I'm not disregarding that one because I do kind of like the Night of Navy, but it almost looks like this kind of gets lost. So let me see what I think of this one on the black, because maybe I will change my mind and think that it is, I actually think the black looks better as the card base for this one. And actually, you know, the blue doesn't look that bad for this one, the Night of Navy. So see, just the different kind of scenery that you can do makes such a difference. And again, I don't know if I would do too much on the outside as far as sentiment. I would let the scenery do its job and then put my sentiment in the inside. So I will get these cards mounted. There will be pictures on the blog so you guys can see it. I will do some close-up shots so you can actually see what this really looks like. But isn't that so beautiful? I know I did with some of our glitter paper back during Christmas time. I used the cabin set and I made kind of the northern lights. But this is really rad. I will say that it blew my mind when Cheryl told me to go watch that video. And I thought, who in the world thought to add all these different colors to this Marbleous paper to make such an amazing technique? Like, who would have thunk, right? Obviously, I'm telling you, there are some people out there that are just like, woo, genius. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's cards. Let me bring in the other cards that we made. Hopefully my fingers don't get everything all goopy. And then I will have to wash those because I used Stays On. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Add these. So I'm going to move that. Oh, hold on. Let me zoom back out so I can get you guys back in here and see the cards that we made. I don't want to touch any white envelopes because I don't want to make them nasty with my fingers. And I'm going to move that up there. And then there is that one. And then there is that super cute little bumblebee one. So there's all three of the cards. This is called that, oh geez, I forgot it. Diagonal Gatefold. There we go. Diagonal Gatefold. And then this is just one that I showed the little lady from, what was that set called? Now I don't even know what I did with that stamp set. Well, I know one of you guys said it on here. What was the name of that set? This one right here. Where did I put that? Oy vey. Oh, right here. It's called In the Moment. So like I said, there's some really neat sets with that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cards tonight and you guys give it a try. If you do, please post your pictures of your cards over on Pink Barn Stampers. We love seeing your guys' inspiration, especially if you guys got that paper. And if you don't have that paper, make sure you make your $50 order. Like I said, there is my host code. Please use my host code. I will send you a little special gift. And then make these cards. We want to see what you guys come up with. Like Cheryl said, I'm going to hold you to that, Cheryl. I want to see those mountain cards that you come up with. Just saying, because holy guacamole, those were absolutely gorgeous. That mountain scenery was to die for. And I checked around and not one of my friends here had that set. So I was like, gosh darn it, now I got to buy another set because I'm going to be making the heck out of these cards because they are so stunning, but I want that mountain scenery. So that's that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. I know we're 15 minutes over our time frame, so you guys have been troopers. All right, you guys, I will see you, what was it? This Monday, or this Thursday, actually, I'm going to be doing my, Paper Pumpkin Live. If my darn Paper Pumpkin would get here, why it takes so long to get here to me, I will never know, because every other thing I get comes within, like, the next day. Because of us being so close to Utah. But obviously I don't know where Paper Pumpkin's coming from, so it's taken a while. I've seen everybody else post some, not everybody, but I've seen quite a few people post pictures of their Paper Pumpkin kits, but nope, mine is not here yet. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great week. I will see you guys back here in a couple of days. Thank you. Yes. Danette. Definitely let me know when you get back into town, or now you know where I live, you can just come here. All right, you guys, have a good night. Bye.